forgot to click the go live button.
It says live for me in the top left.
Yeah. So I'm what I'm doing is I'm checking if it's showing up
Oh,
on YouTube itself. Yeah, exactly. Eh. All right. We are actually live now. So, okay, perfect. Ryan, thanks for joining. Let's see. Okay, interesting. I'm sorry, I'm in the middle of trying to get Christian involved too. He should have been able to join, but all right. Well, right now, oh, perfect. There we go. See, Christian, can you hear us now? Can you unmute yourself when you do?
Yep, I can hear you. I don't know why my video is not working. I've got my camera set up today.
Go figure. All right. Well, as we're dealing with all the logistics, it took us a little bit while to figure this out, but thank you very much. Welcome to the Delta Lake Community Office Hours for today. Today being October 14th at 9 a.m. Pacific. Right now, we're broadcasting live to YouTube. So if you have any questions or any thing that you'd like to know more about, please go ahead and chime in directly through the YouTube link and just ask us your questions there. If you don't have anything, that's fine. Then we will make this a very short session. But I figure we also want to provide a few quick updates. So hence we've invited Christian, Scott, and Ryan aboard today. And I'll also give a quick update. Well, actually, Scott, you can probably give a quick update on the Flink connector as well, too. So so right now, it looks like there aren't any questions yet. So that's perfectly cool with us. So Christian, why don't we start with you? You and Tyler had joined me, was it last week or the week before, on the Kafka Delta Ingest. So that was a very popular, fun session that everybody enjoyed. I was just curious if there was any updates that you thought would be interesting for folks to know about, whether it was the Delta Rust API or the Kafka Delta Ingest itself. Like, for example, the fact that it's a production.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we've had, so we're running. I want to say about 24 streams in production right now with Kafka Delta Ingest and having pretty great success. We have a couple of interesting bits coming up. You know, I can't remember. I think definitely at the end of our tech talk last week. I mentioned that we were adding a starting offsets feature so that you can start from explicit Kafka offsets if you're starting a new Kafka Delta Ingest stream. We are very near completion of the PR that adds that functionality, and it includes a fairly invasive refactor as well. As we were kind of building out Kafka Delta Ingest, you always get into that mode where you're adding new features and eventually you need to do a cleanup, and it's always hard to kind of spot the point, like where should we actually do the cleanup. And when I was adding the starting offsets feature, I felt the need to do a big cleanup. So we have a big PR in flight right now that includes a pretty significant refactor of some code and also adds the starting offset feature.
Oh, sorry. Helps if I unmute myself. Awesome. That's really good to know. Really glad to hear that. Cool. That's a great update. I'm going to go next with you, Ryan. Welcome back, by the way, from vacation. A much deserved one as well.
Yes, thank you.
Any quick updates that you could think of, especially from the Delta sharing side? I did notice some, for example, some questions on Delta sharing. For example, actually, I do have a question now that I'm thinking about it. Does Delta sharing actually work with Python 3.9? I know it works with 3.8, but I don't recall if it works for 3.9.
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, we haven't tested with the latest Python version. This is probably something we should do before we do the next release. Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah, because there was a couple of questions on the Slack, so I just figured I'd ask you that because I noticed somebody was trying to run the Delta sharing demo, and it worked well in 3.8 and 3.7, but I didn't see it working on 3.9. So, well, that's what they're doing. Admittedly enough, I haven't upgraded myself yet. So, cool. All right. Well, any other updates? I like that, for example, like maybe like Spark 3.2. I noticed that it had just passed the voting. I think yesterday, the day before. I think.
Yeah, actually, Spark 3.2.0 is already on like a Maven Central. So we are currently working on upgrading Delta Lake to use the latest Spark version right now. And for connectors, we already have Hive 3 support ready. And we also like working on the release for Delta connector so that people can get like the Hive 3 support and also some enhancement of the Delta standalone reader.
Excellent. Thanks, Ryan. No, that's super helpful. Perfect. Well then, hey, we'll shift you to you, Scott, for a quick update. Any updates you'd like to give us, both from the Delta standalone writer and the upcoming Flink and Delta sync?
Thanks, Denny. Hi, everyone. Both projects are coming along very well. The standalone writer is approaching code completion. So we've definitely now focused most of our efforts towards like QA and tests and performance tests. So that's coming along really well. And you know, the code is open source. If anyone ever wants to check out the PR or the design doc and leave some comments or feedback, you know, people can feel free to go ahead and do that. And the Flink connector is also coming along really well. We are also beginning to finalize that design, and we are beginning to prepare to share more broadly the design doc and the actual open source PR for that, to start getting some community feedback on that, and even some community help as well with testing, perhaps. So yeah, coming along great.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Scott. Okay, well, that's it, I think, for today's session. We're going to cut it a little bit short just because it looks like there's not any new questions right now. So thanks, everybody, for the quick updates. Appreciate your time, and we'll all see you in about a couple of weeks. We're going to be scheduling on the 28th at 4 p.m. Pacific, so we can trade time zones for everybody. And again, if you have any questions in the interim, please do ask us on the Delta user Slack channel. That's it for today. Thank you very much.